We're back again, finally, to just discuss a little bit of travel, because obviously Sarah is a massive travel expert and we both have teenage children, so we thought we'd just give our 2016 thoughts and trends for travelling either with or without children. It's a very different matter, obviously. With children as a single mother, I always find that quite stressful in itself because I feel really responsible. So that, to me, is quite difficult to find somewhere I want to go where I feel safe and not too overly responsible for the children. But equally, when you go on your own, I haven't dared do any sort of single holidays yet or solo. Because I actually, what's lovely, I do have friends that invite me to go and spend time with them. Or, I've done blog trips where I'm really happy to go on my own and join a group. But I haven't really thought about this year. So where do you think you might be going, or where do you think we should be looking out for this year?
Well, I think every year, sort of like all the newspapers and magazines come out with sort of like places to go every year, and strangely, they're always very cyclical. Like they do all these trends, and all the same countries turn up in slightly different orders. Like number 5 is number 2, and number 1 is number 3. It's sort of like, so it's just and sort of like if Turkey's popular, Greece isn't, and if Greece is popular, Turkey isn't, and things like that. And if the bombs go off in certain countries, it's being like last year I talked more about safety than any other issue about sunshine or lack of snow.
Well,
safety,
bombs have just gone off in Istanbul today.
Exactly.
That does mean they'll look at, we won't go to Turkey this year, we'll go to Greece. And that always does happen. But I do think what's key for this year is the fear factor and where people, and security as being a massive issue.
Well, I think for that reason, sort of all the polls and trends, and you can't really believe those, but just really through the research that I've done, Italy is coming out as a sort of like a top destination, basically because it hasn't, touch wood, had any of the other issues that the other countries have had. It hasn't even had like a Paris, France has had. And so consequently that has always been a very popular destination with the English, but I think the Italian tourist board and the regional tourist boards are promoting sort of like much, much more. As far as long-haul destinations are concerned, we're talking about the teenage markets. Teenagers have a thing about America. It's not just, there was, I saw at the weekend, The Hateful Eight, Tarantino's latest film, which is a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. It's superb.
Is it?
It's 3 hours long. 3 hours. 3 hours. I'll say that again. 3.
I have heard it's very good, but
it's a lot of blood. People get their heads blown off and things like that. But that's set in Wyoming, and I actually think it was filmed in Wyoming.
This is the Western.
Yes.
Yeah.
And consequently, the Westerns, but it's beautiful because it's shot the way Tarantino shot it. It's better than the travel agency. If they'd spent millions on promoting the.
So the tourism board of Wyoming are just going to love it.
Love it. Bye. Yeah. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
So I think every time, one of the things that I've talked about in the past is whether films, when they're filmed in certain locations, whether it does the place any good. Yes.
Talking of which, I'd like to go to Copenhagen now, having seen The Danish Girl.
Oh, really?
Honestly, it's beautiful. I mean, the film is another matter because I really like the film, but it's obviously a true story and very traumatic, but played very well. But the shots of Copenhagen back in the 1930s, but obviously sort of fish markets and lots of little alleyways and all the pretty houses. Anyway, Copenhagen's very popular, isn't it? I think you might have mentioned that last time as being a sort of key new destination.
Well, it's not. It's not only. I think it's good. I think what The Danish Girl would have done is make it much more. Opens up to a much wider audience. It's always been very popular, ironically, with young families because it's very pedestrianised, and you can get your buggies around everywhere. So I think restaurants are very al fresco. They've got a lot of space inside. So all the practical things you don't really think about if there's just the two of you or walking solo, going solo,
or one of you.
You don't. Well, exactly. It's something you don't think about. I mentioned before, ranching holidays are becoming very popular. You mentioned about going solo. A lot of women going solo go ranching now, simply because it's an opportunity. You're actually doing something.
Do you not think it's because they're just thinking they're going to meet
a cowboy?
They're going to meet Crocodile Dundee, equivalent of,
or Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Well, they might do. Certainly, the times I've been to a ranch.
Actually, just to say, I meant Indiana Jones, not Crocodile Dundee. Although I did really like Crocodile Dundee. I would have chosen him over Indiana.
No,
actually,
Indiana Jones.
No,
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
No, Indiana Jones.
But
you
I
mentioned
couldn't possibly go on a ranching holiday, apart from obviously if I thought I was going to meet. So you could go to Calgary and you could go to the Calgary Stampede area. And obviously there'll be all those amazing, gorgeous-looking cowboys. But I'm terrified of horses, and those shoes are really uncomfortable.
Well,
and I don't know how to... And so you just look like an idiot.
Well, it depends. It depends what sort of ranches you go to. Like dude ranches are ranches for tourists. That's what dude ranches are. And you can get ranches now which are much more authentic, where you've got the round the campfire. Like every time I say round the campfire, I keep thinking of Blazing Saddles round the campfire. But you've got, like, there's a place that I always recommend, Home Place Ranch, which is just outside Calgary. It's owned by a guy called Matt McKinney, who is a real horse whisperer. But he fits the horse to the person. Basically, he sees how he's got this like wooden block of a horse, and you have to step on and off and see how you actually sit and ride. And he'll give you the horse that's right for you. A lot of them are ex-polo ponies, so they're very calm. So he's had celebrities there, who are really good horse riders, and actually they ride in a different way in the West than they do here. It's all very relaxed, and their attitude towards horses is much better. You can also get ranches where, if you like, the ranch experience is only an add-on. You've still got you can have ones with the pool and there's a spa and things like that, but that's not the authentic. And then you can get ones where you're actually doing the city slicker thing. You're actually going to sort of like move cattle about or move sheep about. So it's no,
this is not working for me at all.
No.
I can't go on a ranch. I'm
Okay.
terrified of horses, and I don't want to move cattle around. So what else can I do?
What else? Well, you mentioned Crocodile Dundee, Australia.
Yeah,
it's Australia, another sort of like long haul destination. That's
but it's expensive.
But again, it appears safe. Well, we're talking in January. One thing that's coming up a lot at the moment is a lot of the companies are doing these, or allegedly these, sort of like doing 20% off deals or buy your flights now. One thing I would recommend about that is, yes, look at the reduced price, but look at where you are, where you live, and the location of the airport to where you are. Like, I'm close to Heathrow, and certain airlines are now doing sort of like discounts that you've got to fly out of Gatwick or Stansted. If you take into cost the parking, take into cost the petrol actually driving there, or the taxi getting there and back, and also the hassle,
additional time.
I now, even taking into account the cost, the opportunity cost, I try and always book early by all means, but fly from Heathrow.
Right.
And I think that whether you're family or whether you're going by yourself or with the couple, I'd highly recommend that now, because everyone always says, holiday begins as soon as you leave the door, and you think, all right, well, we'll have really, really cheap flights, but it creates, that extra long journey, and if it's something like you've saved yourself 700 quid,
that is worth it.
But if you've saved yourself something like £70,
For I think it does depend, doesn't it? Because even a lot of places now, it'd be cheaper to fly into Amsterdam, say for example with KLM or something, because the hubs have changed.
Yes.
So in order to get to, Southeast Asia potentially, that might be a cheaper way to do it. But anyway, I guess it is about budget, and it is what you're looking for and time and everything else. I wouldn't want to have to do that, because that just adds on another extra leg. But I can't probably go too far. I'd really like to go to Cuba this year.
Yes, go to
I really, really want to go to Cuba. My children really, really want to go to Cuba.
Yes.
And obviously for all those reasons that everybody repeats ad infinitum, so I'm not going to say why to go to Cuba. But and I really, really want to go to Burma. Apparently you're supposed to call it Burma now. Back to Burma, not Myanmar.
Oh, right.
Apparently it's back to Burma.
I want to go to Costa Rica.
I'd love to go. Oh, Costa Rica, yeah. But Burma I think it's a good time. And just all those lovely old names, which I hadn't, I just really love to go to Rangoon and Irrawaddy River and all of those places.
Yes.
What's that one beginning with M that I'm thinking of that's there as well? Mandalay. Is that right?
The road to Mandalay.
So I think that sounds splendid. So
well, visualise it. When you visualise something, you manifest it, for good or bad. So
then maybe that's where I'll go, if I can start finding out how I'm going to earn some money and get myself and my children there. Where are you going to go?
Where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? Well, I said I want to go to Costa Rica. I haven't actually got any plans at the moment, but I'm probably going to visit. I'm doing some yoga retreats at my house in France this year, and I'd like to do, as I said, Costa Rica, and I may be going to Canada because I haven't been to Canada for about 2-3 years, and I miss it. I sort of like it, but as I said, I think with the travels concerned, they're going to be organic. So it's if I get an invite, I'll go. I think it's, as I said, going to be one of those years where it will come to me. It will come to me rather than me going out and searching for it. I've always been someone to do that, but I feel like the lesson I learned from last year is that I've always thought you've got to go out and get it, and I'm still a go-getter, but just your attitude at the beginning this year, as you said, to be accepting and grateful for what you got, and then things do come to you.
Well, let's hope so.
Yes.
All right, that's probably enough of us for today. Bye.